There's somebody who wanted to testify tonight, and he couldn't testify because he's incarcerated. And I hope that you'll indulge me while I read his testimony to you. It's from a gentleman I met a few years ago when he was the valedictorian of the gang step-down program at medium security at RACI, and his name is Mario Montero. Good evening, members of the committee. My name is Mario Montero, and I am someone who would benefit from the passage of this legislation. I am 37 years old, and because of a crime that I committed when I was 17, I am currently serving a mandatory consecutive double life sentence. I was the first juvenile in Rhode Island to be sentenced under a newly established statute that mandated consecutive life sentences after being convicted for first-degree murder if a firearm was involved. My sentence reflects a mandatory statute that applies regardless of age, criminal history, or other mitigating factors that may have resulted in a lesser sentence. The legislation before you today, House Bill 5144, the Juvenile Offender Parole Act, is intended to address lengthy mandatory sentences given to our children under the age of 18 years old at the time of their crime. This bill is in accordance with the U.S. Supreme Court decisions and research about adolescent brain development that states, among many things, most juveniles who engage in illegal activities do not develop into chronic offenders with deep-rooted criminogenic behaviors in adulthood, as quoted by Roper versus Simmons. These are Mario's words, unedited. Passage of House Bill 5144 does not open the doors for everyone. It is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. This legislation excludes the most serious crimes and applies to those individuals who committed crimes as juveniles from the year 2001 and on. I would like to take a minute to tell you about myself as a child growing up and acknowledge the actions that led to my incarceration. At times, as a child, I had moved through the system of multiple and abusive group homes, and by the age of 9, both my parents were deceased. Over the next 7 years, at the hands of my legal guardian, I endured many forms of physical and emotional abuse. By the age of 12, it was common for my stepmother to involve me in her criminal lifestyle of drug use, packaging drugs, and making deliveries. Refusing her demands ended in beatings. Finally, at the age of 16, I took control and decided to escape this life, which was devoid of any love, support, or guidance. I foolishly turned to the streets and eventually a gang, believing it was a solution to a toxic environment that was my home. I was blinded by impulsiveness and inability to comprehend the lifelong consequences that this choice would have. Without ever having been in trouble before, I managed in the span of 1 year to throw my life away and take away the life of Mr. Ram Pev. I understand the reality that no number of apologies or good deeds will atone for my actions. I have also thought about the amount of pain and heartache that I have caused, along with the lasting effects it has on his family, the community, and my own family. I will live with this for the rest of my life and forever be sorry and remorseful. I have spent the last 20 years of incarceration facing up to this tragedy by believing in what is the central point of this legislation before you. Youth are not beyond change, and they have redemptive qualities which will allow them to become capable of becoming mature adults who are productive contributors of society. During my time incarcerated, I have continuously pursued a path that would allow me the opportunity to one day prove that change is possible, and I do possess the ability to realize my full potential. I have been successful in my pursuit of education, striving for an associate's degree, and I am proud to have completed the highly regarded FRG Gang Renunciation Step-Down Program. I have also participated in mentoring youth at the ACI and currently assist with the training of service dogs for veterans. I have also developed and maintained strong relationships with family and friends that continue to inspire me. These and other accomplishments over the years have allowed me to demonstrate the potential that the Juvenile Offender Parole Act speaks to. I have a sense of pride and purpose and the desire to do something good. Passage of this legislation will allow for youthful offenders to prove to the parole board that they have been rehabilitated and can contribute productively to society. Members of this committee, I humbly ask that you pass this bill H5144, join over 24 other states, including Massachusetts and Connecticut, who have implemented reforms to juvenile sentencing. I ask that tonight you help add Rhode Island to that list. Thank you for your time and consideration allowing my testimony to be read. Mario Montero.